Happy Monday, and welcome back to my YouTube channel for anyone that's watching, but probably not a ton of people. I was talking to someone this weekend. This is what kind of inspired this video, and they were saying that between the left and the right, and conservatives and liberals and Democrats and all that, whatever, that there's no commonalities anymore. And I really thought about it, and I came to the conclusion that there's one thing that each extreme, because I feel like there's people in the middle that can always agree on something, but on the far extreme ends of the left wing and the right wing, I think they're both saying the same stupid thing over and over, and it's like their biggest shtick on each side. So as far as the left wing goes, I would say the thing that they're proposing is that women don't need to get married, and they don't need men, and they don't, all this stuff. And the right wing is essentially saying the same thing for men, that men don't need to get married because it's bad, the court system is screwed, and financially it's a horrible decision, and all that stuff. So I think the one commonality that the left and the right on the far extreme says is that you shouldn't get married, you shouldn't be in any kind of long-term committed relationship, which I think overall is a terrible thing for society. And I think the right wing probably pushes this more than the left wing, but the whole right wing movement, as far as there's guys like Andrew Tate and Justin Waller and all these guys, which I think, like anybody, right, they have some valid points and they say some decent things. But I think the narrative they push and the young men they prey on basically are the whole thing is, you need to get rich and you need to focus on making money, and you can't date anybody, or you shouldn't date any women until, you've reached the status of multimillionaire, whatever they say. They basically say never date anyone, or just date multiple women, or go sleep around with a bunch of women, which, again, I think is extremely stupid and bad for society, because it seems like it's just a huge lie. The reality is most people, not just men in general, are never going to be multimillionaires. They're never going to make $1 million a year. And they're going to, if you keep telling young dudes this, they're going to spend their whole life chasing money and trying to become a millionaire so that they can finally either date women, sleep with more women, or marry women, or whatever the goal is. Which I think that for most men is going to be extremely, one, they're never going to achieve probably the status of making more than even $500,000 a year. There's not even a ton of dudes making $100,000 a year, let alone, Andrew Tate and them are talking about 500, a million, whatever it is. I think it's a bad message, and I think you're chasing the wrong thing if that's what you're going for. I think men find purpose in providing, right? At least that's what it seems like. And the thing that most men are going to be able to provide, hopefully for their wife and children, not saying wife can't work or whatever, yada yada, but most men are going to find fulfillment through their family, taking care of them, being a part of their lives, and they're not going to find fulfillment through chasing a ton of money, starting a bunch of businesses, and doing all that, because the reality is most people are never going to do that, and most people don't want to do that. So I think that's a huge lie that is being told right now, and it's, like I said, it's on both ends of the political spectrum, right? The same thing for the far left-leaning people. Women need to only go to college, and they have to have jobs, and if you aren't a career woman, then you're doing everything wrong, and you're playing into the patriarchy. And any woman who's a stay-at-home mom, or wants to be a stay-at-home mom, or whatever, doesn't want to work, take care of their kids, then they're a bad woman, which is essentially, like I said, both sides are saying the exact same thing, just in a completely kind of different way and geared toward different things. But they're basically both saying, work your life away, don't ever settle down with someone or have kids, just keep playing into the system, essentially, which is ironic, because I feel like the left wing, or the spectrum side of things, say that there's too many big corporations and all of this stuff, and that's all the people that they're telling all these women to go work for, and they're just playing into everything these massive corporations that they quote unquote hate want them to do, which is have no kids so they don't have to pay you any maternity leave, and you can just work and have no other obligations. And same thing for men, right? It's like, just continue working, have no other obligations, don't have kids, don't have a wife you have to worry about, just keep working. And the reality is most people are just going to keep working for the ultra rich and the ultra wealthy. And society for such a long time has been built on families, and that's always been the most stable structure for most people. Obviously there's outliers, like if your calling in life is to start some kind of business where you can't have a normal family functioning life, whether you're a woman or man, go ahead and do that. But I think the safe bet for almost anyone is going to be going the route of having a family, whatever that means to you, having some kids or adopting some kids, or just finding something greater in your life. And I think it's really important to say that most people aren't going to find the most important thing in their life through work. So that's something that I noticed and kind of went through watching all these more so right-wing, red pill, quote-unquote things that you need to make millions and millions of dollars a year, and that's the most important thing, and nothing else basically matters. So I feel like the older I get, the more I notice that basically all political party sides, are on the extremes again, are just basically wanting you to be a work slave and have no other obligations other than working. And maybe that's a Western culture thing, I don't know. I talked to these guys from Sudan the other day, and they were kind of filling me in. They came here because of the war, and they were kind of filling me in. The one thing they noticed is that here, people spend way more time working and not with their families and their kids, and they thought that was absolutely insane when they saw how our society over here functions. So, I mean, obviously there's differences in every culture, right? But that's one thing they pointed out that kind of made me think about this, or delve into it more. But yeah, I think the way for most people, like I said, is going to go the traditional route of having a good work-life balance, being able to enjoy some things, not just constantly working 24/7. Not that you can't be successful, right? You should still, you should aim to be successful in all areas in your life, not just one. So I think that's something that the far left and the far right both agree on, and it's probably the only thing I found that they both agree on. If you have any comments on that, or think there's anything I missed, or any other hot takes on this topic, go ahead and leave them below. But I'll be interested to find out if people find it interesting that each side of the political spectrum on the extremes are saying basically the exact same thing about this topic. So this is my Monday video. Again, kind of inspired by just talking to some people over the weekend and having some conversations and different perspectives. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Appreciate anyone who watches this and leaves a comment, and hope you have a great day. And also, I shaved my beard, and I feel like I look way, way younger. So this is kind of going to be crazy to watch in the future. I feel like I look older in my other videos, and now I look younger. But we'll see. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Beard, no beard. Let's see.